Hello and welcome to another episode of TEVAdrive, and this time around we have here the 2024 Hyundai Kona EV. It's a brand new generation that's been much improved, mostly through size. The mechanics are similar to the previous Kona EV, and they're also identical to the Niro EV. And this Kona EV is now basically gone one size up, you could say. Much bigger than the previous model. So here in front you have the brand new design for the Kona EV, which includes a unibrow here stretching from one side of the car to the other. Now during the day the DRLs only light up this section here, and then only when you turn on the headlights at night, then basically this unibrow comes on, which is pixelated, and then your main headlights are here, as you can see. Low beam, high beam and turning lights are in this section here. The charge port is still where it was before, in the front of the car, which may or may not cause issues in the winter. We are doing this test in late March, but as you can see, we're dressed for winter. It's basically, it was -6 this morning, it's still -2 right now, even though it's sunny. So here you have the level 2, and you have the CCS level 3 and below. And from next year, Hyundai Kia Genesis will be equipped with the Tesla NACS connector on all their cars. Later this year, for now, in the interim, Hyundai Kia Genesis will be providing the owners with an adapter to be able to charge at the Tesla superchargers. So there we go, it's a manual door. And again, it may present some winter issues because of the location in the very front of the car. Let's show you the design on the side. Again, it's a brand new look for Kona EV. Very nice design. We actually like it a bit. It's a much larger car than the old one. Very nice design lines here. This is full. There is no actually, no, there is, sorry, there is a small window here behind the C-pillar, so there's good visibility all around. This is the ultimate version, which is priced from 51,000, or you can get a base car that starts at 48,000. What this gives you is 200 horsepower front-wheel drive car, and this ultimate version is also equipped with the opening sunroof with a tilt and open function. Okay, let's show you the space in the car. Basically, now I am sitting in quite a comfortable driving position for myself. I'm a fairly tall person at 190 centimeters or 6 feet 3. This is a fairly comfortable position for me. Let's see how much space this comfortable position will give to another tall person in behind in the second row. All right, let's see. And as you can see, it's not exactly roomy, especially compared to the Ioniq 6 brother, which starts not much higher above the price of this car. So there's space, a bit of space for my feet, not a huge amount of space, but there is some space for my feet, and for my knees, unfortunately, not a lot of space here in the back row. In terms of the headroom, it's okay, it's just okay. Not a huge amount of headroom here, but I'm not touching the ceiling, which is kind of nice. Okay, let us show you the back of the car. Okay, so first of all, let us show you the design in the back of the car. Again, you have kind of repetition of what you see in the front of the car. A nice unibrow LED light that stretches from the side of the car all the way to the other side, and the sides are like a one-piece LED, and then there's pixelated LEDs in the middle, creating this unibrow design. And then you have this, the rest of the lights are located here, so the reverse, the turning lamps, are all here. Of course, there's in the other markets you would have the fog lamps here as well. Let us show you, and of course the car has a rear wiper, which apparently the Hyundai Ioniq brother will be getting this year. This will be, I believe, the 2025 model coming later this year. We'll finally have a rear wiper on the Ioniq 5, and so Hyundai has listened to the advice and the feedback from the owners. The way you know it's an electric version, because basically this car also exists in a gas version, so either full gas or full electric, no plug-in hybrid. You can tell because there's a big electric sign here, and of course it's a green plate as well. All right, so let's show you the trunk. It's a manual lift gate, unfortunately. Even though it's a $51,000 car, it's the gate, even in the Ultimate version, it's still a manual gate. The trunk is fairly spacious. As you can see, it's 40-60 split bench. It's a hard shelf here attached to the hatch, and some storage space for cables and your emergency tire kit. So there we go. That's about it for the design. And walk around, and let's jump in and show you the interior of the car and give you our impressions and results of our testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 testing. Whenever you're ready. Okay, so here we are inside the 2024 Hyundai Kona EV, and as you can see, the interior of the car has changed quite a bit as well. And you have the two screens connected together, just like in all the other Hyundai Kia Genesis electric cars. You have the middle screen here, which has specific EV screens. This is the one you see here, which is different from the Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6. So this is your EV screen here. Number one, it shows you the battery state of charge. Then it has the nearest charger. Down here you have basically way to activate quickly by pressing this button here. You activate the battery conditioning, which you will need ahead of the fast charging session. And then finally here you have the energy screen showing you the statistics of your last trip, the percentage of that the drivetrain was using, the electronics percentage, the climate percentage, and finally battery care. Right now it's at 0, but once you activate the battery conditioning, this could be eating up, on our test it ate up as much as 25% of the power was eaten up by battery conditioning. Other than that, the rest of the screens are all the same as in other Kia, Genesis and Hyundai cars. And this screen is slightly different, and it will change colors according to your drive mode. The drive mode button is located here, and you don't press it, you turn it. So you turn the wheel here, you have the eco, then you have snow, then you have sport, normal, and eco. So 4 different modes. As you noticed, the screen changes color according to your mode. Same with the ambient lighting. You can have it change according to your drive mode, or you can manually change the colors. Here you have a lot of physical buttons, which we like. You have the home, map, search, media, seek, track, programmable button, and setup. You have your volume button here. We don't want to play any music, but this is your volume button. And then you have your tune button here. And then this is all about your climate. So basically auto, off, driver only, which we used during our test to get the best result. Recirculation, your temperature up and down, fan speed, direction of the air, AC button, sync, front and rear defroster, which is great. 2 USB-C plugs are right here. Your wireless phone charger is here. And same like with most of the other wireless charging systems. If you're streaming music and navigating from your phone, even though if it's placed here in the wireless charger, it will not keep up with the charge. So the charge will go down definitely less than if you didn't charge, but the wireless charge is not keeping up with phone usage when you're driving. If you're using music streaming and also navigation from your phone. Then here you have the other buttons, your seat heating, seat cooling, auto hold, which you have to turn off when you're going into a car wash. I almost made a mistake today. Your steering heat, 2-stage steering heat, 3-stage seat cooling and seat heating. You have your parking cameras, manual turn on, and this is the passenger controls for seat heater and cooling. And finally, your parking sensors on off button is here. You have your cup holders which fold. There you go. So the cup holders are folding, and you can unfold them by pressing the button. And there's quite a bit of storage here as well. So smaller storage here above, and then bigger storage down below. When you remove, you can see how much storage there is here under the armrest. Okay, so that's about it. We can just point to the fact that the gear shifter has now switched to the position to the same as the Ioniq 5, which is right here, which may interfere with tall people's legs sometimes. And then you have the shift paddles here, which regulate your regen strength. The typical buttons on your screen here, this is your adaptive cruise and your distance from the car in front of you. The menu button that changes what is displayed here in the dashboard, and then your speed up and down here. Your mode, this is basically all for entertainment. Your phone controls, voice controls, volume up and down, and scrolling and going up and down for your entertainment as well, the search button. So that's about it. It has a heated steering wheel, as we mentioned to you, which was very practical in this cold spring day. All right, so let's take you for a spin and tell you about our impressions and the results of our testing. We are in drive now. You can hear probably a little bit the pedestrian warning sound that disappears around 30 kilometers per hour. And another thing in this car, which is different than Ioniq 5 or EV6 or Genesis GV60, is you cannot turn off the creep mode. There is no one pedal driving. Even if you have to keep pressing for the car to stop. If you let go of the shift paddle, okay, now it's working. It stopped. Is the auto hold? No. Okay, so basically, but you touch the accelerator, and you can see it's creeping. So you cannot turn off the creep, even if you double tap on the left shift paddle here to maximize the regen. The car is creeping forward. So there is no one pedal driving, which is strange because all the other electric cars from the group have the I pedal. This one does not. So it's kind of a little bit unusual. Okay, so let's take you for a quick spin here, and we'll tell you what we thought. So we basically conducted the entire week worth of testing in eco mode. Let's face it, 200 horsepower front wheel drive car in a sport mode. It's pretty pointless. Yes, you may need it to be able to pass quicker and such, but most of the time I think you will be using this car in eco mode in order to stretch your miles. The rated range for this car is about 385 kilometers, and that's again can be achievable in ideal conditions. So let's tell you what we were able to achieve during this cold snap spring of 2024. Most of the week was below zero, and today again, as mentioned, the temperature was -6 when we started. So first of all, we conducted 2 round-trip tests from Toronto to Georgian Bay, our usual routes, which are basically which we take when it's the stretch is about 150 kilometers long between Lake Ontario and the Georgian Bay, our northern base. And so basically the first time around we were driving against a fairly strong headwind, and it was cold, and so the first highway test was as much as 24 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which would make this car's range less than 300 kilometers. Then we conducted a second test on the Hypermile test, and we have basically tried to apply the battery conditioning. We showed you the button here that is used for conditioning, and the result using the side road below 100 kilometers per hour with the battery conditioning, it was not much better. It was all the way up to 21 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. In terms of the charging speed difference, we did two fast charging speed tests, one without preconditioning and one with preconditioning, and they were both down from around 65% state of charge. So the speed at that state of charge percentage without preconditioning was only around 30 kilowatts, where with preconditioning the speed was 40. However, it brought the consumption way up. So in other words, it's not really worth preconditioning the battery. You might as well spend more time at the charger, because now you are paying per kilowatt hour, no longer per minute. So it's not worth increasing your electrical consumption. Just basically stay. So the reason I'm saying that is that we conducted a second hypermile test without the preconditioning, and the consumption went down to just around 16. So a huge difference of 5 kilowatt hours that were used, additional energy used for preconditioning. So again, difference between 16 and 21, that's a huge difference. So again, not worth preconditioning in my opinion, and based on our test results. So then we have done just today, and it's still cold, -6 as I mentioned. We did a second highway test, and this time the wind was calm, it was sunny out. We still used the climate. We set the climate at 20. Initially we used a little bit of steering heat, and then we turned it off, because even at level 1 it was heating up a little bit too much. So we only used it for a few minutes to warm up, and then we turned it off. But the climate was on at all times at 20. The outside temperature again -6. And our speed, the highway consumption test, which we always conduct under similar conditions, using the middle to left lane on Highway 400, and today it was southbound, which helps a little bit, because southbound on the 400 you're going downhill. So the test today was down to only 19. So again, 5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers less than the first highway test, going the same speed. But again, it was windy with a headwind versus no wind today. So we managed to get it down to 19, which is much better than the first test, and that would mean that the range on the car would be basically over 300 kilometers under the winter highway conditions. So it will vary obviously, and the car, by the way, the estimate here that you can see on your range does recalculate. So initially when we started this test, the car was showing around 370, 380. Then as we did a lot of highway driving, the car recalculated that it was showing this morning in normal driving mode, it was showing just around 300 kilometers. I believe it was 305. You can look at the pictures on our Facebook page, because we always post the results live. So it was just over 300, and then in Eco it would have been about 312 kilometers, and then in the sport mode it would have been under 300 kilometers range. So there you go. This kind of gives you an idea of what the winter driving in a Kona EV, this new generation, you can expect. So again, you will not achieve the rated range of this car in the winter on the highway, just like with most EVs, because those ratings are based on averages with a mix of city and highway, and in ideal conditions, which the winter is not for electric cars, as we all know. So that's about it here for our test of this 2024 Hyundai Kona EV. A huge improvement, especially in size, over the previous generation, and now it's kind of very similar to the Kia Niro EV in size. All the technology is here. The car, this ultimate version, comes with a head-up display. It comes with adaptive cruise and auto steer. And by the way, the reminders, let's turn it on here. So basically what you do is you turn it on here first of all, and then here. Let's try again. You turn on here, and then here for the auto steer, let's set it at the posted speed limit. Let's try again. I think we're gonna, there we go. Now we're at the speed limit. The distance is at 1. The car defaults to distance 2. If you want less, you have to change it. So the auto steer, we're now on Lakeshore. Probably if we get to the middle lane where the lane markings are clear, there we go. The auto steer is now on. And you can tell by the head-up display showing the green steering wheel. Same on the dashboard, the steering wheel is green, meaning that the auto steer is on. So it should be steering itself. Of course, the car will encourage you, and it's always best to hold on to the steering wheel. So we're in adaptive cruise, the car should be able to slow down. There you go, it's slowing down. However, it does not come with automatic stop and go. So once you stop, you have to press on the accelerator for the car to restart. So quite a lot of equipment in this Kona EV Ultimate. Again, priced from 51, or you can go for the basic car at 48,000. So the only objection that most people have for the Kona EV is that you can get a gas version for much less. It's a substantial price difference from a gas Kona to an electric Kona. It's basically the same car. You can tell, apart from some badging on the car, that this is an electric versus a gas car. They look almost identical. Very trained eye will have tough time differentiating those cars, those two versions of the car. And for the once you're in the 50s, then basically you're almost competing with a Tesla Model 3. You can also get an Ioniq 5 for not much more money. You can get a Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, which are much better electric cars, 800-volt systems, etc., etc. So the question is, if there's a case for a Kona EV, there probably is. I would say that people that have limited budgets, will probably go for the base version under 50, and then the difference kind of in price makes sense. And if you don't need all-wheel drive, this car only comes in front-wheel drive. Let's put it back. There we go. This way I don't have to think about the speed. The car will adjust its own speed to the speed limit. Oh, by the way, this car has a function that automatically, kind of semi-automatically adjusts the speed. This is the new speed limit on both your head-up display and on the screen here. And by touching this speed change button, it will automatically adjust the speed up and down to the new speed limit. So it's not fully automatic like our old Audi, where it just automatically adjusts to the new speed limit up and down. This one you actually have to press this button here on your steering wheel in order for the car to change the speed to match the speed limit. So again, a lot of good equipment here in this Kona Ultimate. We encourage you to test drive it. And they should be maybe available easier than the Ioniq 5 and 6. They are slightly cheaper. So again, go and test drive one. If you have any questions about our impressions from this test drive, do not hesitate to comment under our video, and we'll be happy to respond to your questions. And as usual, do not forget to press the subscribe button on our channel to be informed when the next video will be coming up. We have lots more videos coming up for both pure electric and plug-in hybrid cars coming to our channel very soon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next review.